Tommie, I have to say it's an amazing read. Your memoir, it really is. When you lay out your life like that in front of yourself, what were the kind of emotions that were going through you as you wrote this and read back on it?
Well, it's the story of my life, where I come from, the people who shaped me. And then it's about the career I had, based in the Northwest, then 12 years in Brussels, and then 20 years in Belfast, and about the different big stories I covered, the lessons I've learned, the people I've met. And I hope that it's a behind the scenes account of the humanity that I found. I hope it's kind of encouraging in terms of my own dealings with cancer and the lesson of how ultimately you have to take control of your own health challenge. And also it's looking at where Ireland might be going. And I really didn't know where it was going to take me. There's an amazing thing about writing. When you actually start on something, you're not sure where the journey is going to take you. And I was kind of excited and at times intimidated by that. But I found it a worthwhile experience because in a way, it was like going to confessions.
Timing. You had a lot of great timing in your life, didn't you?
If you don't have luck in life, you're finished. There were so many junctures in my life where luck was that vital ingredient that sort of made the difference for me. If I give you a very basic example, I had a cancer condition that was diagnosed when I was 37, going on 38. At the time, I had been covering the Court of Justice, and there was a case going through there about people's right to access European healthcare. And if I hadn't been covering that story, I wouldn't have known there was a possible escape route out of the hole I was in for me. And that happened with me in journalism time after time again with stories, just being in the right place at the right time or picking up the phone late at night in the office. And I got lucky.
An incident in this, which is never going to go away as long as we live, is the time you sat down with Roy Keane after Saipan, during Saipan. Now, I know as a professional journalist, trying to put aside your personal feelings was part of the job. But looking back on it now, how do you feel personally?
I think sometimes you have to sort of let your feelings influence your approach to things. And you just hope that your feelings are fair and that they're accurate and that they're on the money as to where people are thinking. As I look back on it, say, 20 years later, I just think that time was so tragic for Ireland because there were so many what might have beens. And I'd say if every single person who was involved in that saga, from Mick McCarthy to Roy Keane to John Delaney, Niall Quinn to Stephen Staunton, if every person who had any input to that had a chance to revisit it, they'd maybe have learned the lessons and that maybe they mightn't put their hands up and say I was wrong, but they try to avoid what was a car crash, really.
Total car crash. You were also at the table during historic events in Ireland, the coming of the Good Friday Agreement. What stands out in your mind with the people you met and the huge personalities you sat down with from that time?
I love what has happened in my country. I feel so privileged to be living through these years. I think European Union membership has been wonderful for us. I think it got us out from being that small island behind a bigger island on the edge of Europe. And the other wonderful thing, more important, that has happened in our lifetime is the killing has stopped. I grew up close to the border during those years, and I remember the radio going on in the morning, you'd be going to school, and some other poor, unfortunate, totally innocent person would have been needlessly killed. The wonderful thing that the Good Friday Agreement has achieved is it has stopped the killing. That is game, set and match in terms of its function. And I can say, without any fear of contradiction on it, this is genuine, that across the divide, whether it was Ian Paisley or Martin McGuinness or Jerry Adams or David Trimble or Arlene Foster, towards the end of their political lives, what gave them satisfaction was the extra effort they had made, going out their comfort zone and what that had achieved. Like I saw lovely reconciliations. I remember Seamus Mallon in his final days and David Trimble going to see him. Remember Arlene Foster, even though her government had been brought down and she blamed Sinn Féin for it, it was a really hard swallow for her to drive from Fermanagh over to the funeral of Martin McGuinness. But I know the personal satisfaction she got from that, knowing she did the right thing. You'll never come across a person and say, wasn't I right that I didn't shake his hand or her hand?
It's such a great book, Tommie, and you've lived such an absolutely remarkable life. I could talk to you all day, but thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.